The fabrication of MEMS are done as batches or batch production. As a result, there is a need for a substrate material to provide the mechanical support or a platform to hold the n number of MEMS so that we can build the MEMS on that support. So the selection of this substrate material is very much important, and this selection considers two factors. The first one is the consideration of subsequent processing of the MEMS, and the second one is the application of the MEMS devices that are to build upon the substrate. So the selection of the substrate material considers which process we use to fabricate the MEMS, as well as the application of the so developed MEMS in the future. We know that the MEMS are mostly applied in the microelectronics industry, as which has been developed using the silicon based material or the semiconductor based material. Hence, based on the previous researches, the materials which are compatible for the semiconductor industry will be suitable for the development of the substrate or the selection of the substrate materials for MEMS. One such material is the silicon. As it dominates this industry, it also forms a stable oxide compound, the silicon dioxide, which is essential in the formation of MOSFET, which is the transistor formed based on the oxide of the silicon. That is the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, which forms the basis of the semiconductor industry or the microelectronics. Another option is the gallium arsenide, which is also a semiconductor compatible material. It has higher electron mobility than silicon, however, less hole mobility than the silicon. Also, the oxide formed by the gallium arsenide is less stable. Thus, the gallium arsenide based microelectronics is generally used for the high-speed analog circuits as it has the high electron mobility. Thus, from the available n number of materials, silicon has been found to be more suitable or the optimal material for the as the substrate material for MEMS fabrication. This is because as it is widely used in the microelectronics industry, and it also forms a highly stable oxide compound. One of the steps in the MEMS fabrication is the thin film deposition. In this process, in this step, there is a deposition of the thin oxide layer on the wafer layer. If the silicon is selected as the wafer layer or the mechanical support, a thin silicon dioxide layer will be formed on top of it. There are various methods for this thin film deposition. Some of them are spin coating, oxidation or the thermal oxidation, and the vapor deposition. The vapor deposition itself consists of chemical vapor deposition as well as physical vapor deposition. We will now see these various methods for the thin film deposition. The first process is the spin coating. It utilizes the centrifugal force of a rotating disc. We know that whenever a disc is rotated along an axis, the material on top of the disc experiences a centrifugal force which tries to throw away the material in the tangential direction. The spin coating process utilizes this effect of the rotation of the disc. The figure shows the various steps in this process. So initially the wafer is placed on a rotating base. The wafer could be a silicon wafer which will be placed on the rotating base. Now a small amount of the coating material is applied on the center of the wafer layer. The coating material is usually provided in the form of a solution with a solvent material. Now the solvent of this coating material or the photoresist polymer will be volatile. The substrate is then rotated at a speed of 10,000 up to 10,000 rpm to spread the coating material by centrifugal force. That is, as the disc rotates, the material or the solution on top of the disc experiences centrifugal force and is spread on the top of the wafer layer. The rotation causes to spread the wafer surface, and the solution being volatile evaporates from this surface. Thus, we get a thin film of the material, the coating material on top of the wafer layer. The required thickness, or the thickness of the coated material, depends on the amount of material deposited as well as the duration of the rotation. If we want a thicker layer of the coated material, more amount of material will be deposited and the duration of rotation will be less. In this way, we get a coated layer of the material on the top of the wafer. The second method is the thermal oxidation, and as the name suggests, it is a way to produce the oxide of the wafer material on the surface of this wafer. Usually, oxidation reaction takes place at high temperature. Now it forces an oxidizing agent to diffuse into the wafer material at high temperature and causes a thermal reaction. For example, if the silicon is the wafer material, a thermal reaction is forced to happen to form the silicon dioxide. It occurs in a diffusion furnace consisting of a heating unit to increase the temperature sensors to keep check of the temperature, the control unit, and a process chamber to remove the impurities. It could happen as two types, dry oxidation as well as wet oxidation. In dry oxidation, the silicon wafer is exposed to oxygen gas to form the silicon dioxide layers. Here there will not be presence of water, and the oxidation is enhanced by the high temperature environment, usually 700 to 1300 degrees Celsius. In the wet oxidation, there will be presence of water, or a solution will be present, as silicon plus the H2O gives the silicon dioxide and hydrogen gas. The figure shows a typical oxidation furnace used for the thermal oxidation to form the silicon dioxide on silicon wafer. The next one is the vapor deposition, and it is a group of processes used to form the solid material from the gaseous phase, and it is of two types. The chemical vapor deposition, which uses a chemical reaction to takes place so that the gas deposits as solid on the wafer layer directly. They are of low pressure chemical vapor deposition, plasma enhanced chemical vapor deposition, etc. The second type is the physical vapor deposition. Here the material is released from a source directly or by use of an energy medium, and the released material is transferred to the substrate or deposited on the wafer layer. Now there is no chemical reaction happening in the physical vapor deposition to form the material on the substrate. Examples are the electron beam physical vapor deposition and sputtering. Now we will see all the four processes in chemical vapor deposition and physical vapor deposition.